think this is gonna go well. Oh God. Oh God. Hello, beautiful people. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the books that I have recently acquired. I have a massive haul here because it's been a while since we've done a haul. And so we will see what books will have 5-star lines, what books might be 5-star reads. If you are new to my channel, hi, I am April. You can think of me as your bookish fairy godmother. On this channel, my goal is to hook you up with your next 5-star read. And these are just a few of the 5-star reads that live rent-free in my head. If you like what you see, I hope you subscribe, hit the bell, stay a while. Now, before we dive into this haul, I have to talk to you guys kind of seriously about something that's not necessarily bookish, but affects us because I am Canadian and most of you guys are from the USA. Did you know that Canada is preparing for a war against the US? Do you know that? We are actually preparing for war. This is not about the tariffs. The tariff thing is annoying and stupid and ridiculous and will hurt both Canadians and Americans. That's not what this is about. Prime Minister Trudeau was recently caught on a hot mic saying
Trump has it in mind that one of the easiest ways of doing that is absorbing our country. And it is a real thing.
Essentially that Donald Trump is actually very, very, very serious when he says that he wants to make Canada the 51st state. This is not a joke. He's having private conversations with this orange lunatic and he's serious. And let me tell you, Canada doesn't want that. Like so many things about Canada, I would never in a billion years want to live in America. That is nothing against America though. Let me tell you, this whole thing is actually really heartbreaking. It's actually really, really quite heartbreaking because Canada has been by America's side, literally and figuratively, for hundreds of years. When 9/11 happened, we were right there. We were like a safe harbor for Americans. All of those people on flights that were up in the air while the towers were falling, they were all brought to Canada and we held them close. We fought alongside you in World War II, in Afghanistan. We have literally traded with you for so long. We have so many people, like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Canadians escaped the winter by going to places like Arizona and Florida. This is like, we're close for a reason. And we, for hundreds of years, have had very similar values. And I want you to know that your country is veering off course. And based on everything that I'm seeing with Elon Musk and everything he's been up to, fiddling his little fingers in to very classified, very secret information, very personal information, you're about to lose your country. This is not a letter writing campaign moment. This is a get your ass in the streets moment. You have to do something. In Vietnam, I think it was 10 million people that marched, peacefully marched in Washington. That was before social media, guys. So you guys have social media, figure it out because you're going to lose your country. And I'm going to tell you right now, we don't want to be a part of yours. So I just needed to say that because it's really concerning to me. I follow Canadian politics and American politics very closely. And I'm terrified for us and I'm terrified for you. And because I love you guys, please do something. Now for a little reprieve. We are going to talk about books. The first 2 books I want to talk to you about are books that were sent to me by publishers, and I'm excited about both of them. Woo! The first one, guys, is the new Nat Cassidy. I have my fingers on it. This is When the Wolf Comes Home, No One Will Be Spared. When does this come out? In April. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. This follows a woman named Jess. She's a struggling actress. One night, she finds a 5-year-old boy outside of her home. He's a runaway hiding in the bushes outside of her apartment. And she's trying to help this kid and comes across this child's father, who it turns out is a little bit violent. They have a very violent, bloody interaction, and that leaves her running away with this child in tow, with the father also like on her heels, and the blood just follows them wherever they go. Let's read the first line. Daddy is roaring. Not a 5-star first line. Actually, it's pretty close to that though. Roaring Daddy is terrifying. The next book is The Quiet Librarian by Alan Eskins. This book is coming out in February at some point. This is going up in February. It might already be out for you guys to check out. This follows Hannah. She is a librarian living a quiet life until a detective comes in to let her know that her best friend has been killed. Murdered, in fact. And Hannah knows in her gut this is a remnant from her past. She has a dark past that we discover in this book. What it is, I don't know. I don't want to know. I just want to go into it. I have never read Alan Eskins. I actually passed along a couple of his books unread to my mom, and I think she's really liked him. Have you guys read Alan? I would love to know. Let's dive in, see if this is a 5-star first line. Minnesota after everything. The man steps through the door and into the library. No coat despite the light spring rain. Not a 5-star first line. Okay, the next 2 books are books that I bought myself this January. I could not help it. The first is a book that was a pre-order for me. So when this came in, you guys know I was just dying for this book. If you know anything about me, you know that I love Grady Hendrix, and this is his latest, Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. We follow 4 girls in here, Fern, Rose, Zinnia, and Holly. They are all gathered at Wellwood House in St. Augustine, Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by families to have their babies in secret. Now, one day, I believe it's Fern, if I'm not mistaken, that goes to the library, and a librarian hands her a book of spells, and they take their power back. I love that. It takes place in the 70s, like, you know, just the height of women's empowerment, the women's movement. I'm so excited for this. Grady Hendrix is 100% a feminist, and I just love his stuff. So yay for this. Let's read the first line of this. Sit, listen. I need you to understand what they did to us when we were girls. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, yes. That's a 5-star first line. I will say sit was a period, listen was a period, but that to me isn't a line, you know? So definitely 5 stars for that. And then I got this book. This is nonfiction. It's The Home Reset, Easy Systems and Habits to Organize Every Room. I have definitely become a reset girly in my Notion. So I have it there, but I don't really have resets within my home. I just kind of clean my home. And this is about cleaning and mess and how to take care of all of that. And that sounds great to me. Do we need to read? Well, we always do it. So we'll read the first line because, you know, it can be the most wonderful feeling in the world when your home rises to meet you. It's a good line, but not 5 stars, you know. Okay, we are moving into the books that I got for Christmas from Barry. This is another nonfiction book called Dopamine Nation, and it's so funny because my mom was talking about this book and I had just put it on my wish list like the same day. My mom and I sometimes have moments like this, which is interesting. I have that with my husband as well. It says Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence. It's nonfiction, and this really dives into dopamine, what it does to your brain, and how it's like riddled through our society to be dopamine driven, like on our phones, eating, everything, drinking, whatever. We're very dopamine driven. But not only does it explore that, it explores what to do with that, which is kind of what I need help with. Oh, I forgot to read the first line. This book is about pleasure. It's also about pain. I like that line. Not 5 stars, but I am looking forward to picking this up. Oh, the next book. So many people had this on their 2024 favorite books of the year. So I was so thrilled when I got Pet from Barry. Pet is a literary fiction book that follows a young girl who's in a classroom with a teacher who really tries to make everybody want to be class pet. It says that when a thief begins to target the school, Justine's sense that something isn't quite right grows ever stronger. And then the plot goes from there, and it just sounds incredible. So I am so looking forward to reading this. I need more literary fiction in my life. So, first line, 2014. I know it's Mrs. Price, and I know it can't be Mrs. Price. That's what I keep thinking. Oh, I love that first line. 5 stars. Love it. 5 stars. Next is a book that I've already read. I haven't hauled it yet, but I've read it and adored it. Like 5-star read. My favorite book of January for sure. This is Doreen by Barbara Noble. This is a book from Persephone Books. They bring out books that were written earlier in the 20th century, and they re-release them, and my goodness, Barbara Noble is incredible. I've read another book by her. This book takes place in World War II, and we follow Doreen, who is a child in this period of time. She lives in London with her mom. Her dad is nowhere to be seen. They are having bombs dropped on them. They spend their nights in bunkers, trying to get away from the bombs. And her mom finally just is like, this is just not safe for this child. I have to send her to the countryside. Now, it wasn't easy to send kids to the countryside after the first wave of kids went over. And she gets lucky. She kind of tells a friend about what's going on, or a coworker, I should say. She tells a coworker what's going on, and the coworker says, listen, my brother and his wife love kids. They don't have kids. They would honestly love to take her. And so she goes to them, and it follows Doreen's experience in the countryside, which she really likes. And it follows her mom missing her, and this new couple just falling in love with this child. And it's just so interesting and absolutely wonderful. It was a page turner for me. I wanted to know what was happening next. And I just felt really, really attached to all of the characters. So I highly recommend, but I've already recommended it to you in my previous video, my January wrap up. So let's just read the first line, shall we? On her way to the office that morning, walking through streets crusted with broken glass, on legs uncomfortably swollen from a night spent dozing in a deck chair, Mrs. Rawlings decided she would have to do it. She would have to send Doreen to the country. 5-star first line. 5 stars. Oh, the last book that I got, I wasn't sure if I should share this with you or not, but it's the Bariatric Blueprint, a simple guide to a successful lifestyle after bariatric surgery. I just had bariatric surgery. So I read this book before to get more information. I will say I don't feel like I got tons of information from this book. So I'm someone who does like an insane amount of research. Like I follow 5 million people on TikTok who have had it. I do a lot of research, but I would say like if you are someone who was thinking about getting it, I mean, this might be a great place to start just to get like Bariatric 101. But yeah, that's all I will say for that. I don't want to go too much into the whole thing. So let's read the first line. Even though the first bariatric surgery procedure dates back to the 1950s, the stigma of weight loss surgery still exists to this day, which is why I didn't want to bring this up. So, truth. Not a 5-star first line. Not a 5-star book either. It was just okay. I don't think I even included this in my January wrap up, did I? Anyway, the last 2 books, guys, are books that my sister gave me. She really liked both of these. Oh, she got this one for me for Christmas. So this is Elizabeth Strout, who I don't think I've ever read. This is Amy and Isabelle. This follows a mother and daughter. I believe Amy is 16. They live together, very, very close together. And they also live in a very small town that is just riddled with just gossiping. It sounds like in this book, Amy's sexuality begins to unfold, and it casts a rift between mother and daughter. So I don't know really what more this is about, but it sounds really interesting. So let me read the first line to you. It was terribly hot that summer. Mr. Robertson left town, and for a long while the river seemed dead. I wouldn't say that's a 5-star first line, but it does sound really, really good. Again, literary fiction. I need more of that. I need to read more of that. That's like one of my big goals for 2025. Last but not least is Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. I've been wanting to read this for ages. Maybe I should read it in the spring. Look at this. Does that not scream spring to you? Apparently, I will say the audiobook is read by Meryl Streep. So I don't know if that is also of interest to me. Will I do a little bit of both? Maybe. This takes place in the spring of 2020. This follows Lara and her 3 daughters who return to their family's orchard in northern Michigan. They are picking cherries and they ask their mom to tell them the story of Peter Duke, who's like a famous actor who she knew when she was young. And I think they had like a romantic relationship. And it explores their time together at Tom Lake, which was the theater company. And I think it's just the mom telling her story. And that is usually, she is so good at storytelling and just reeling you in, and familial relationships. Ann Patchett just gets that so well. So I'll read the first line. That Veronica and I were given keys and told to come early on a frozen Saturday in April to open the school for the Our Town auditions was proof of our dull reliability. Not a 5-star first line, but I can't wait to read this. So those are all of the books that I have to share with you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Have you guys picked anything up in January, February yet? Like this year, let me know what you've picked up. And I will talk with you very soon. Love y'all. Bye.